Hello Reformers and welcome back to Warsword Conquest, and, well, Percy's here, and he's currently speaking to one of his High Elf commanders. Actually, wait a minute, it's not a High Elf, actually, is it? It's not a High Elf. It looks like one. It's very accurate in terms of High Elf, and now we're not in the High Elf territory anymore. I think you can kind of guess that. Anyway, one of you actually did mention that it might be an idea to go over to Goblin territory, go over to Dwarven territory, to potentially get a couple of extra enterprises. And I do have quite a bit of cash, so I thought to myself, hey, you know what? Why don't we go and do that? And that's exactly where we are right now. We are in Bloodhorn, the town of Bloodhorn. We are going to be buying a Weavery and Dye Works here, which is 1,600 gold per week. I think that's pretty good. I've taken a look at the other options just before beginning the recording, and it seems like this is the best option for us, so 1,600 is perfectly fine with me. And otherwise, what we're going to do now is we're going to maybe fight a couple of larger bandit parties in the area, if I can get my hands on them, that is, and otherwise we're going to make our way over to Dwarven territory and see what I can do about maybe getting a couple of ironworks there, because apparently ironworks are really good in dwarf territory. Alright, so a larger party we seem to have here. They are a pack of deserters, and these guys, well, I remember them to be very, very powerful indeed. So I'm not entirely sure how we're going to do here, but we're going to try our best, obviously. This is a very flat battlefield, which is good for us. Yes, it's actually pretty good for us, because we have 14 cavalry, and we are up against Skya Gunners, or as far as I'm aware, that's what they're called. Anyway, a bunch of Skaven gunners, and we're going to see what we can do about them. Now, I hope that our archers will have a pretty decent time of things here. Of course, these guys, if they get a bead on you, they are going to just tear you apart. So I'm going to hope that that will not be the case here, and I will be able to maybe do a little bit of something. I'd like to just try and distract them as much as possible if I can, and then otherwise, whoa, okay, I just lost my horse. Maybe I can, yeah, there we go, take that guy out, take that one out, and you can see here that they are just preoccupied. They are preoccupied completely with using their guns, and that's perfectly fine with me. That just makes things so much easier. It really does. There we go, we're getting a couple of kills here. Can you imagine? We're actually getting a couple of kills. Now, I must say that other than the fact that we have now made our way over to Goblin territory, we also have 2 new companions, and one of them is very good indeed. And I'm going to show him to you after this. He is none other than Matthias Thulman, I believe his name is, and he is a witch hunter. So he, of course, has fantastic looking armor. He has a pistol, witch hunter pistol, actually, a specific pistol for him. And he also has, of course, a sword that is very much in keeping with his theme. And I'm very much appreciating his assistance, because he was only 5,000. He was only 5,000 gold. I thought to myself, that's a pretty good bargain for a companion that has such great stats. And you'll see exactly what I mean about that very, very soon. So let's actually just take a look here. And which ones do I want to go for? I guess I'll go for 2 wild hunters. I guess that's the best that I'm going to get from these prisoners, and otherwise we are going to just continue leveling up these fellows here. We got some high helms. There we go. So there he is, Matthias Thulman, and I do have a couple of prisoners to take as well. Very nice. Okay, so we do have, yes, these are their muskets as far as I'm aware that they are able to use. Those gunners, I think didn't they used to use like miniguns or Gatling guns or something along those lines? I'm actually unsure whether they were. No, wait a minute. No, actually, maybe they did. Maybe they did, because I seem to remember that there were gunners, and these are the gunners. Skya. It seems like they are Skya, not Skya. Never mind. Skya gunners are apparently really powerful, but obviously at the moment, maybe not so much, especially when they don't have any kind of commander to really give them orders. Anyway, let's see what we can do here. Okay, so we have a couple of points in Power Strike and everything right here. Gonna go for Constitution with Groth. And we're going to get a little bit more in maybe 2-handed, 1-handed, and so on and so forth. He already has maximum firearms, of course, so maybe we'll just make him a little bit better in melee combat. And yes, I do need to level up Finn as well, so let's see what he can get. Yeah, let's go for another point in charisma and trade, like I said I was going to do, and let's get him some more points in firearms as well. Otherwise, we do have a couple of points ourselves to spend, but first, I'm going to show you Matthias himself. He has 200 in every weapon proficiency, 6 weapon master, huge amounts of power strike, iron flesh, and all of this for 5,000. And he... What's up with his health? What's up with his health at the moment? He has 100 out of 65 health? I have no idea what's going on with that. It's probably a... Well, I'm not going to say it's a bug. I don't think it's a bug. I think it might just be some kind of display error, but... Yes, anyway, point is he has a Witch Hunter pistol, which does pretty decent damage. Accuracy not that great, but you can see in comparison to the Flintlock Pirate pistol, it is better in every way, with the exception of the damage, of course. And yeah, that's pretty good. Anyway, I'm looking for cartridges, actually. I probably should have looked more in the loot that we just left, but yeah, it's not really a big deal, because I'm going to be using magic in most of these field battles for the moment anyway. So let's see, what do we want to... Ah, well, of course, we're going to be speccing into intelligence here. Let's get another point in pathfinding, another point in, I suppose, magic, I guess. I guess that's going to make us a little bit better. Let's level up our firearm skill, and then we are ready to continue onward. Okay, so, here's the thing. I currently do not have enough money to be able to purchase an ironworks in a dwarven town, and here's where it gets kind of amusing. The night goblins have just captured one of the dwarven towns, as far as I'm aware, and I think that that is indeed this one that I just moused over here. I think so, at least. Or maybe they've taken this one? I don't know. They seem to be running them down. They seem to be absolutely destroying the dwarves right now, which is very, very surprising to me, because I have never thought of the goblins as being an extremely strong faction. I mean, as I say, my limited experience in the Warhammer universe, and, you know, I have played Blood Bowl, obviously. You know, I played the Legendary Edition way back, you know, Blood Bowl 1, and then obviously Blood Bowl 2 came out, and played that a little bit as well. And, yeah, goblins are usually kind of gimmicky, you know, they usually have all the gimmicks. They usually bring all their secret weapons onto the battlefield and everything, and they're usually not extremely effective at... well, anything apart from, you know, dodging and things like that. So I assume that that would kind of carry over to something similar. Oh, it seems like we have that small bug again where we're unable to enter these towns. Oh well, that's actually not even a big deal, I guess. We are gonna just continue onward, and well, maybe it would be an idea for me to head back to Night Elf territory. Night Elf. Oh, the sacrilege. Oh, the sacrilege. Ooh, now what is this? This is a little bit weird to me, because I've obviously not come across this event ever before. You suddenly find yourself in the middle of a skirmish between some goblins and some pirates. Your troops quickly clear any combatants which get too close for comfort, but not before you take a dart to the neck and collapse on the floor. You wake up a few hours later, and with great difficulty stagger to your feet. You realize you have been drugged and curse the goblin who did it. Your troops inform you that the goblin is dead along with many others. Okay. Is something happening to me right now? Yes, something is happening to me right now. Or maybe not? Okay. It doesn't seem like anything happened. Specifically. I mean, I'm not injured. Okay, I think maybe there may have been a couple of people that might have been added to my army, because I was full. I had full army capacity, so maybe there was going to be a couple of recruits or something like that were going to be added, but I don't think so somehow. I don't know. But yeah, I'm pretty intrigued about that event, so if anyone knows what actually happens there, then by all means, let me know. Alright, so we have something pretty awesome on our hands here, and basically I've just gone all the way over to, yes, I'm not going to say Night Elf this time, Dark Elf territory, and yeah, we actually do have someone here that we'll be able to pretty much literally rip apart, and we have some backup very close by. There are a number of vassals attempting to take Arnheim Fortress, and there's also a Dark Elf vassal around here as well, and they have about 111, so we do want to obviously prey upon the weaker vassal here, at least for the moment. Not entirely confident with my army strength at the moment, but hopefully later down the line that will change. Anyway, let's see what we can do here. I did, by the way, also purchase an additional healing potion, so in theory I should have 3 uses of a healing potion per battle, and I think that's pretty amazing, obviously. I mean, Percy kind of needs it. I mean, don't you agree? You know, he probably does. He probably does need it, and he's looking at me really weirdly right now. He's like, "What? Are you serious? Why are you telling them that?" It's just like, why do you think I'm so weak? And I'm like, well, it's kind of obvious, Percy, isn't it? It is kind of obvious. And there is a sorceress casting Doombolt on the enemy's side, which is not particularly fun. But, well, we'll see how our archers do in comparison. And I'm actually going to tell my cavalry to... Oh, no. Nearby enemy troops have damage augmented. Oh, how lovely. How lovely indeed. Okay, so we have 6 cavalry. That's actually not even that much, which is not great. Yeah, I'm going to have to do something here, and I'm going to definitely need to charge in from behind here, charge our infantry in from the front, and hopefully distract a couple of people too. Look at that, we're actually distracting a couple, which is always good. And even if I take a little bit of damage here and there, I don't really mind as long as I don't die. Yes, Percy, do not die. Thank you very much. Okay, yes, so what I'm going to do is I will try to get off a regrowth here, because we are losing a couple of people, and it would be quite nice to not, you know, lose everyone. Ah, there we go. Yes, we actually cast it for once. Can you believe it? Yes. How amazing. How amazing. Yes, usually it's just like failure all the time, but thankfully it is now working pretty nicely for us. And I'm going to use Earthblood as well, and we might as well use Peace too, because we can. And yeah, then we're pretty good, and I think we can just finish this up, no problem at all. Didn't get any experience for me in this particular battle, but I think once you get to about 27 intelligence, which is what we have right now, surgery skill is pretty much maxed out. I mean, you know, there's still obviously one more point to get in it, but yeah, you don't really need to worry too much, because we just have such a huge amount in it already that it's just doing so much work for us, and indeed, you know, keeping our units alive. This Dragon Guard is doing some weird stuff to me right now. I'm not entirely sure why he's mimicking my movements. You see that? That was kind of weird. He was kind of mimicking me, and he's actually following me, which is a bit weird. Maybe he thinks that I'm an enemy of some kind. Maybe. And there's a Master Witch Hunter. Oh yeah, by the way, speaking of Witch Hunters, you can take Matthias's gear away from him. You can actually take his gear, and if you want, if you're playing as Empire or something, and you want to roleplay as some kind of witch hunter and you don't want to buy the armor, well, you just find him for 5,000 and you can get your very own witch hunter armor. I think that would be a pretty cool subject for a series, perhaps. Anyway, there you go. 44 enemies were eliminated right there, and oh yes, being able to take this guy prisoner actually does remind me about something else that happened while I was off screen, and that is that, I think his name was Coreflame or Coreflame or something along those lines. Yes, anyway, the other vassal that we captured from the Dark Elves, they finally decided to pay his ransom, and that was 4,600. So yeah, if you wonder where my money comes from, or where that particular bit of money came from, then you exactly know what it is. Anyway, I'm going to be taking this guy prisoner as well. We're going to take a couple of his troops prisoner too, and we're going to see what else we have. Oh my. Now that is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I'm actually wondering whether I should... I don't really know. I mean, here's the thing. I really like using a polearm of some kind, but I'm just not entirely sure whether it's going to be that useful later down the line, because if you think about it, you know, we're going to be having some difficulties using the halberd in siege situations. I mean, it's just obvious, you know, it's such a long weapon, it's very, very difficult to use in close quarters. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe we're going to be okay, and well, let's just leave it in our inventory for the moment, and who knows? Maybe we can just sell it if we need to, you know. Not a big deal. Anyway, Gulax did level up, so let's see what we can get him. I guess, you know what? I guess I'm just going to literally just go for Weapon Master here. And wow, that Weapon Master really, that was so useful. So useful. Just me getting that additional 1 point in everything. That was fantastic. Okay, let's go for Constitution with Katashi here. I know I need to get Weapon Master on him as well, but kind of want them to be a little bit faster at rejuvenating their HP. So that's exactly why I spec'd into that. And there's a village here. There is a village for me to raid. I do not have a lot of space. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to get rid of a couple of things that are less than a certain threshold here. Maybe we'll get rid of some of this bread as well. It is just cheap bread. Maybe the dried meat is not particularly useful. And the grapes, we're almost through with those. There we go. Okay, I think that's perfectly fine. 4 more spaces is pretty good. And while our friends are distracting the opponent, we will be able to... Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I want to loot and burn the village, not just force them to give me supplies. Thank you very much. And while they're distracting them, we will be able to raid this, hopefully. And yeah, now that I say that, you know what's going to happen? The biggest party in the history of the world is going to come out of nowhere and be like, "Hello, it's time to die." No, but thankfully this time around that did not happen. Can you imagine? Yes. Can you imagine if that happened? That would have been pretty crazy. Anyway, let's take all of this, and hopefully we'll be able to sell it for a very pretty penny indeed. And yes, I think we're pretty good. I don't think I need to really... I don't really want to take the chicken, actually. I personally feel like taking any of this meat... Yeah, and unless you have such a huge army that you basically need to take a variety of different things, is just not worth it, because it's going to become rotten and it's just going to waste a slot in your inventory. Oh, there's 50... That's the guy. Coriflame. Hello, Coriflame. I would very much appreciate it if you would split up from your friend over there. It seems like they're congregating together now. That is not really great. Maybe if these guys actually wanted to follow me a little bit, I would be able to catch them pretty easily. I mean, I have 9 in pathfinding. I mean, I'm super fast. There we go. Okay, so it seems like he made a very grievous error indeed, and now he's gonna pay the price. But bear in mind that we have suffered a couple of losses from the previous engagement, and that was a smaller fight. This guy has many more units, so we'll see if we're able to do okay here. Whoa, he has a lot of mounted cavalry. That is... Wow, okay. That might be a bit difficult for us to deal with, as we only have... Oh, we have 11 this time. We have 11 on the battlefield. Okay, I think we should be fine. But you know how it is. I'm gonna try and make sure also that I remember to use my healing potion. I'm just not used to having some kind of healing ability, with the exception of Perisno sometimes, and obviously Fantasy Calradia. Those are the only other 2 mods that I know that have shall we say, an activatable heal. I think maybe Nova Aetus actually has an activatable heal as well. I could be getting mixed up, but anyway, point is, I'm not used to it, and so if I do forget to do it, then well, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. Okay, so where are my cavalry, by the way? I should really be telling them to charge straight on in here. Ah, they're over there. Okay, well, let's just tell them to charge straight on in. Tell our infantry to charge straight on in as well, and I'm going to come in from the side and not embarrass myself completely. Yes, there we go. We've gotten some kills, and wow, we actually did pretty well there. That was actually a really nice way to enter the battle. With the exception of getting the kills, of course. You know, getting a huge amount of kills is always a good idea. That's never going to happen, though. Naggaroth Assassins. Naggaroth Assassins are basically my direct counter. Or shall we say, Percy's direct counter. Sorry, Percy. You're not incredibly fast at fighting at the moment. He has a pretty low proficiency in polearms, and obviously a pretty slow weapon at that. And dealing with Naggaroth Assassins, which have obviously Dark Elf swords, which are very, very quick indeed. It's just a mismatch made in hell, basically. So that's not very good. That's not very good at all. But, well, as I was going to say, it was actually a pretty nice way to start the battle, because we headed in from the side, and we were actually able to use the, shall we say, the allies of our enemies' bodies as a bit of cover, so we wouldn't actually be shot that much. And, well, as a result as well, we were able to get more one-on-one fights rather than always being outnumbered in some way. And I think that was contributing to us gaining that level. Anyway, I think with this level, we're probably going to be continuing to spec into intelligence until we get to 10, and I'm going to probably try and spec into some trainer skill here, even though personally right now I feel like trainer skill is not going to be that necessary because we are mostly rescuing quite high tier units. But when the time comes, ooh, we actually get to take this guy prisoner as well. Anyway, when the time comes, we are going to need to level up units, and there's no way around it. We are going to need to level up units in some way. Doesn't seem to be much loot there for us, so we can continue onward. And I guess what we're going to do is we're just going to level up a couple of our forces here, and then we'll see what our allies plan to do. Because I mean, I can kind of assume that they want to go and take the fortress, of course. And, well, let's see whether they are successful in going in. I mean, there's only 215 in the garrison here, and it seems like they are coming in with a pretty large amount. Let's get that additional point in surgery, additional point in trainer skill as well. And, yeah, you can see here, 168 proficiency in polearms. That really is not very good. I mean, let's face it, in comparison to the Dark Elves, which I was kind of drawn to as well for a potential series, but yeah, I chose the High Elves instead. Anyway, let's have a look at the Nagaroth. They are the highest tier. They are the highest tier, and they literally... Yes, okay, so this is exactly the reason why you're going to see me lose against the Nagaroth Assassin. It's not because I'm failing, well, obviously I did fail to hit them because obviously they dodged. They've got that awesome dodge skill. And yeah, it's mainly because they have 590 weapon proficiency. How crazy. And that assassin sword is also very, very cool. I actually wonder if I were to use this sword here, this assassin sword, I actually wonder whether that would give me the poison that the Nagaroth assassins are able to use as well. Well, I suppose we'll find out what happens to Arnhem Fortress in the next episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.